Hi, welcome to another episode of Debugging with Dan. This is going to be one I'm going to do on the fly. I've not kind of preconceived a fix for this, but just to let you know what's going on here is if you go into the email settings, we have the option to require a user to verify their email, which is fine, except for the fact that if you go into your account and you edit your account information, once you verify the first time, you can come in here and put whatever you want in there, and you will be able to act as though you're verified. So what we do basically is, if your email is not verified, if we don't let me say that again, if we don't require you to verify your email, the way I do that is essentially when you go into the database and you create a new user, it automatically puts email verified in your database as one. So what we need to do here is to basically find out if we're requiring you to verify your email, and if we are, then when we update that, then we need to make this a 0 so that you get the email verify error. So let's see what happens here. Let's go to, I'm going to drag some code over here. Let's go to the user settings right here, and I'm playing around with my font size so that where you can see it, but it's not giant on my screen. So I don't think we are running a query on here to find out if email is verified. So let's try this. Let's run a query here where we say, let's see, email q equals db query select. We'll just do star. Let's do this. Sorry, I don't forget my yeah. That should go like this, right? Select star from email. And then let's close this out, and then it's been a little while, I'm a little behind, so let's do this. We're going to use a different feature. We're going to do email, I shouldn't do email, I'm going to do email response because I'm sure I'm already using the email. Oh, let me see, I see what's going on here. So PHP is already closed out, so let's copy this down here, go to PHP, I see that looks a lot better. Email response, select star from email. Email response is email q slash first. And I just like the way that it first comes. If you only need one line of the database, I just like the way first comes out better. So let's go to DMD email R for our email response. And we're going to save that. And now we're going to come over to the user settings, account, edit account info. So this is giving me all this stuff here. So I can see the email activation is set to 0, which means that by default we're not requiring the email to be activated. So let's think about how to do that. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to come over to the code, and we're going to look down here where it updates the email, and see update the display name, update the username, update the first name, update the last name, and update email. So if their email is not equal to what they posted for email, then we're going to securely, which is the input get thing, we're going to securely get that from the form, and we're going to make an array called fields email, and then we're going to check the verification, make sure that it's between 3 and 75 characters. If the validation passes, then we're going to update the users table with their new email. So we're going to run one more thing. So we're going to say, let's look up at the top here. Let's just make sure I'm doing this right. It's been a little while. So we have this email response. We're going to comment that out. And so we have an email response here. So I'm going to say, scroll back down here. We are going to keep scrolling. This email? Okay, that's email. So we're going to come in here and we are going to, let's do it this way. At the top, let's make sure we're getting the right information. So right after we do that queue and we D&D this, we are going to do, we're going to do another D&D. We're going to D&D, we're going to dump and die, which is one of our functions. We're going to dump and die, let's do email r slash or arrow email act, like that. And so we're just gonna make sure that this is the right variable that we need, and so we're gonna do this. And so, all right, right there we got 0. So email act is 0. So now we don't really need to make a new variable for that because we have this one. So if you want to know if the email is activated, then you have this variable here. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to comment this out. I'm going to scroll back down to the email thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to put an if statement in there. So we're going to go to last name and then email. There we go, email. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to if then this equals 1. So in other words, if email activation is required, then we're going to copy this, db update users user ID, and then we're going to put email act hash rocket 0. So I'm going to put this in quotes. So essentially what we're doing is we're saying that if email activation is required, then what we want to do is when somebody updates their email address, like they just did here, then what we want to do is update their user table so that their email is automatically unactivated, which is going to force them to. So what we need to do is save this code, and then my email settings are not set up. This is just the default here, so we're gonna make sure I'm not dumping and dying still, because that'll kill the page. So scroll way up. A lot of code on this page. So okay, these are still good. These are commented out. It's saved. Control S, and we're going to come over to the side, and we're going to refresh this page. And unexpected double arrow. So what do I have there? There's probably a comma missing or something like that. Let's scroll back down. Or I should just remember the line number. Okay, this should be in brackets. Because it's technically an array, even though there's only one thing in there. So we're going to have to do the closing bracket and save that. And hopefully when we drag this over here and refresh the page, that error will go away. Alright, good. So now the fact is my email activation is turned off, so it won't really matter. So let's go to here and let's enable email activation, update the settings, email back activation is saved. Now I'm going to go to my account, edit this, and I'm going to do userspice PHP 23, and I'm going to update, and now it says that the email is updated. So now the question is, if I try to log in, is it going to tell me that my email is not activated? So we're going to log out. I'm going to log in as admin password, and it did not. So let's look here. Look at my users. Oh, there's a reason for that. Because it doesn't matter. The admin person does not have to be activated. Anybody with a user account of 1 just kind of gets past everything. But the fact is, it did update it and say that my email was not active, which if I was a normal user, would force me to be to go through the activation process again and verify my email. So again, just a little secret there for you. For development purposes, I allow user 1 to always have access to everything. you can't really go in there and hack somebody's user ID and put it as 1. So, I mean, maybe it's possible, but anyway, that's how it works. So we're good to go. We can see that because I updated my email address, it is listed as inactive.